Hello everybody, I'm going to make you a quick tutorial on how to use the Pipecache graphical user interface, and I will also explain quickly what Pipecache actually is. Okay, so where are we? We are in my local website. I'm not showing you the proper online website yet, but it's gonna work exactly the same. It's going to look exactly the same unless I update it to look better. Okay, so currently we are here and we can choose to load one of the existing scenarios or create new. I'm going to create a new one, clicking here, and I'm going to name it I don't know what type of bot should I make. I'm going to automate something obviously, but what should I automate? Okay, I want to track a folder, and I want all files that are in that folder to be published in the MetaNet. However, I want to only publish them if they are images. So how's that? Is that good enough? Let's see. Store images to MetaNet. Let's just include in folder. Okay, so that's all it's going to do. I can just copy the same in the description. Usually in the description you want to specify exactly how it does it, what it does, what are the details, so that when you give this scenario to somebody, that somebody can understand what's happening there. But since I'm not really planning to let you just read the description and figure it for yourself, I'm gonna make a whole video about it. I don't see a reason to make it detailed. Also, I don't yet know what agents I'm gonna use, so this is something you would usually go back and fill later. Okay, let's create it. So store images in folder into the MetaNet. We go here and it's empty. So we have some text. Welcome. This is an empty scenario. Please create your first wallet or agent from the menu on the left. And we have wallets and agents. What are these things? What's a wallet? What is an agent? You probably have some preconceived notion about what a wallet is. You probably think, oh, if it's a wallet, then I can use it as a wallet. I can send whenever I want, stuff like that. This one is a wallet plugin. It's not a graphical wallet in any way. It's a wallet plugin. Its only job is to be given to an agent, and that means that each of these agents, well, not each, but some of these agents have the ability to hold wallets, meaning they have the ability to interact with a wallet in a certain pattern, and each of these agents is just a piece of code that executes an action. So for now, let's not focus on the wallet. Actually, for our specific purpose, we're not gonna need a wallet, but forget that for now. Let's instead find our agent. We need the watch directory agent, because that's what we're going to do, watching a directory. And I'm opening it, and what do we have here? We have a name, a type. I can change the type here, and if you find out, if you find yourself in a situation where you don't know which agent to create, simply create one and start changing the type. And notice the documentation here. As I change the type, everything updates. The documentation updates, the default options update, because the old options no longer make any sense. and I can change again, I can change again. All of these happens without save. If I click save, this agent will be saved. If I just refresh, I will still have the watch directory agent. Oh, strange. Did I not refresh? Let's just do it crudely. And yes, I have the watch directory. Basically, it was not saved. Everything over there was just there. So, in the watch directory agent, we have a bunch of things that we can configure. We have the options, which seem the most complicated one. We have schedule, where we can select when does it start, and it can either start on a specific period, so every 5 minutes, for example, or it can start at a specific day, time of the day. Now, then to the right we have this chart, and this chart is telling us that we have an error. The error is that the agent doesn't have an entry point. Basically, it will never start. And for this specific agent, it is telling us that we can either add a schedule or a control link. You don't know what a control link is for now. I'm going to show you in a bit. Instead, let's just add a schedule. So since this is going to just track a folder, I'm going to set it to, I think 5 minutes is okay. Every 5 minutes it's going to execute once. It's going to check if something changed in that folder, and I'm going to click save. Next, let's look at the options. We have path, which is just the directory of the path to that folder, and this is in caps because you need to substitute it with your username if you're on Linux, and if you're on Windows, then you have to give a completely different format here. Just give the right path, and I hope it will work. Honestly, I have not yet tested it on Windows at all, so I wish it worked. Okay, next we have track, which is configured to files. What is track? Track is the option of either files, folders, or all. Meaning, what are we actually checking for? Are we checking for files or folders? And this can be useful. In some cases, you might need to look for new folders, so that later you can check these new folders for other stuff. But in our case, we want files. And what is the event that we are looking for? Well, the event that we are looking for is either new or change. Now, no, this is not right. This is not right. I think this is a bug in the documentation, and I'm gonna check it very quickly. Just a moment. I'm gonna check it very quickly. I'm pretty sure this is a bug in the documentation. Okay, so this is the code for the agents. You don't need to understand it. Just bear with me while I check the thing that I want to check. Yes, this is a bug. I'll fix it right now. So it's not a bug, it's just that I skipped the option in the documentations themselves, that there should be an option to say all. And how do I know that? Over here, we are verifying that the option that is passed is one of these three, including all. Meaning all is a valid option. So I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna publish it after I record this video. Okay, ignore that for now. Next, we can choose what to track. Do we track changes, new files, or everything? And for our purpose, I believe we should track new files. Tracking changes is different purpose. If we're uploading something from a folder, I believe uploading only the new stuff makes more sense. So I'm going to say new. Oops, I clicked Control S instead of save. I have this habit. Okay, so what happens now is that we have this event that checks a directory, and what happens after it, we don't know. So let's read. We can see what entry points it has, but we can also see that it has an output event. This output event looks something like this. It has an event type, so new or changed, directory that contains the thing, name of the thing, so it can be a file, it can be a folder, path, which is just directory plus name, size, how big is it in bytes, and then modification time and creation time. It might not be obvious because it's just named end time. Now we are gonna consider that and just move to the next part. The next part is to upload it. So we want an op return, and we want an op return either B or bitcom or events.json. These are the three options. So what do they do? Well, the B op return handles files. It handles all types of files. It handles all types of content as well, but it's made to display stuff. It's made to make files consumable through a web page. And obviously you can upload stuff that are not consumable as well, but there is less sense to doing that. Then we have the bitcom operator, which is more interesting but also more complicated. I advise you to not touch that for now unless you are a professional developer, unless you understand what you're doing. And lastly we have events.json. Events.json will simply take this object here, which is created as an event from this directory, and it will publish the data of the event itself, not something else, just the data of the event. And the whole idea of this operator in events.json is that you shouldn't care what the data is. The data format can change, you don't care, you just upload it as it is. But we are not going to do that. We need the B, operator in B. Operator in B as in the B protocol. So over here we have the same error. Error agent has no entry point. We can schedule it as well. However, that doesn't really work for us. We can do better. So I mean, we obviously can do better because if we just schedule it, we cannot pass the data about the file. We need to pass that data. So we go here. So far we were in links in this tab. It's not very obvious that these are tabs, but they are. So I'm going to the links tab, and let's see what we have here. We have wallet links, event links, and control links. These are connections between different objects in the scenario. And wallet links obviously connect a wallet to an agent that knows how to use a wallet. Right now we have two agents, but none of them needs a wallet. None of them knows what a wallet is, knows how to consume a wallet. So for that reason it's empty. And also of course we don't have a wallet. But we can create a control link. Notice that in the event links as well, none of these is present here. There is a reason for that. Event links are meant for arbitrary data. Basically, if you have an actor agent agent that can consume arbitrary data, and I'll show you that later. Then you pass that arbitrary data to it. But if you have an event, I'm sorry, an agent that requires a very specific data, then you use a controlling because the arbitrary data is not passed to the agent itself. Instead, you use templates on the options, and through this you pass some arguments, and that's what we're going to do. So we're saying a connection to the op_return B from the watch directory add, and we have this arrow here. Let's go back and read the documentation again. So if we read the op_return, we have two options. We have the option of path, where we simply specify the location of the file that we want to upload, and it handles the rest. Or if we don't have an actual file on the hard disk, we can alternatively specify these four, which is string data, which is a string which contains the binary data to be uploaded. And obviously it doesn't really have to be binary. It can be plain text, it can be anything else, but in most cases it will be binary, even if it's text. That can technically be binary, UTF-8 encoded binary, doesn't matter. The point is, we pass data here, we pass the file name, which will be included into the B op_return. We pass the media type, and for the default media type is text plain. And lastly, we pass the encoding, which defaults to UTF-8. Now, we don't want this, because we are tracking files without reading them so far. So either we have to create another agent, which is called readFile, which will read the file and pass it to this op_return, or you can simply say, no, I'm going to use the data. So let's delete everything here, and we have a path. Let's say, but this is empty. We need to specify where the actual variable comes from, where the actual name of the path comes from. So let's look again at the watch directory event, and over here we have the options of the output event. We have the fields, this stuff. So we need this path. Copy, paste. Now if I paste it like this, this will not work, because this is just a string. It will just say the path is path, and it will try to find such a directory, and this directory does not exist, obviously. So that doesn't work. Instead, we need to make this into a template, and by just adding double curly braces on both sides. Let me zoom in a bit. By just adding double curly braces on both sides, this becomes a template. This template can be used to evaluate an expression, and inside what I have is the expression itself. What is this? This is Python code. Right now we have just a piece of Python code. The variables from the event are loaded, and I can query this Python code as Python. Now it kind of sucks that we don't have highlighting at all, so it's very easy to make typos in this Python code. My advice is keep it as simple as possible. So let's zoom out once again. Notice how terrible my resolution is. I'm using very old monitors. Okay, so we save this. We will save this, and this is now working. It's already ready. We can use it right now. However, that is not enough, because in the beginning of this tutorial I said that we are going to publish only images, not other stuff. So let's look at the watch directory once again, and let's see what other options we have. We have this cool option here, which is called filter. Filter gives us the option of selecting specific types of images, of files, I mean, only. And the example given here is star.json, which will select any file name that ends with the .json extension. And in our case, we can do something like so. Filter is, and you can say star.jpg, and this will work. Now events will be created only for files that match this pattern. However, there is a catch here. I said images, I didn't say JPEG. So is this good enough? It works, but is this good enough? No, it's not. It is time to show you conditions. Obviously, if we want to catch multiple file types, just specifying one of them in the filter field is not good enough. And unfortunately, the filter field only works with one. We cannot add many. So I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna save, and instead I'm gonna say let's create an event condition. Event condition is once again a pattern, template pattern, which however needs to evaluate to a boolean. It needs to evaluate to either true or false. And once again, it has access to all these variables, but it also has access. Sorry, I misspoke. It's restricted in a way that it must return boolean. So what are we checking? We are gonna check the name. So let's write name, and how do we check if in Python if something ends with a certain string? So we can say dot, I actually don't remember. Okay, Python string ends with, let's see, does it have such a method? Okay, that's convenient. Ends with suffix, great. This is the method that we need. Copy. So we say ends with, and we pass a string. Now actually I'm not sure if we can use this type of brackets here. I mean, I'm not sure if we use them, would we have to escape them? This is something I'll check after the video, and if it needs fixing, I'll fix it so that you can just write brackets normally. But since I'm not sure right now, no, wait, I am sure. I'm pretty sure we can use brackets, normal quotes, not brackets, quotes, normal quotes, and it will work properly. So let's say ends with .jpg, and then or name dot ends with quotes, and this one is gonna be PNG. And obviously, using this scheme, you can write as many file names as you want, but it's gonna get a bit long. So let's what can we do? Can we make it smarter? What if we only take, let me show you. Now we need another method. Let's see if string has index of method. Python string index of index. It has index method, which, okay, that's great, that's what we need. So I'm gonna remove all that, because if we have a lot of file extensions, this is gonna get cumbersome, this is gonna get annoyingly long. So instead I'm gonna say name take after. This is let me just give it a space here. This here is just a way to say take from a specific point to a specific point, and I'm going to say the specific point to take from is name dot index of dot, and then I'm going to ask, is this in this collection? And the first one is going to be .jpeg, the second one is going to be .png, the third one is going to be .jpeg but without the E, JPG. So all these file types will now get accepted as proper condition. So let's save, and if we go here, it's saved, we have a condition. Now this editor is smart, so if we do some typo which invalidates the condition, for example, if we only put one curly bracket like this, I save, and it's going to show an error, invalid condition, the proper format is double curly brackets, double some boolean condition. So let's put it once again there. Save. Okay, this is good, but not good enough. We need to know what files we uploaded. We need to know what their addresses are on the blockchain. Otherwise, we just upload them for others to see, but not for us. That wouldn't make sense. So let's create yet another agent. And this time we're going to create agent that writes to a file. And we have either write file or write event to file. We're going to select the write event to file. You see why. So you remember how I said that we want arbitrary data in some cases, and in other cases we need specific ones. For the op return, we need very specific data, either the path or this stuff. It needs to be in the right format, it needs to be in the right place, with the right name. However, for this one, none of that. For this one, the options are usually static. Obviously we can make them change, but there is no point. We can use templates, but there is no point here. Instead, it makes much more sense to just pass arbitrary event type and simply format that into a certain way and put it in a file. And this is going to create a table for us. Tables are good because they let us browse, let us see what's happening. So let's see, we have the options of path, mode, and data format. Path is just the location of the file, and notice that it can be directory, it doesn't have to be a file path, meaning the agent knows how to generate files. However, let's first select the directory, and I'm going to leave it as a directory. You can write it as a file path if you want. I want to generate them separately because the generation considers the mode. So if the mode is append, it's going to create one per day, meaning you'll have walks for each day, and you would only need to look at the specific file. While if the mode is write, it's going to create a single file for each walk. So it depends on your needs, it depends on what you're doing. In our case, I'm gonna say Alex, this is my username on the computer, and I'm gonna put this on the desktop. And I'm gonna name the folder, actually PipeCacheWalks is just fine, PipeCacheWalks. Then the mode is gonna stay append, and we have write and append. Lastly, the data format. We can select between JSON, YAML, and CSV. If you want something custom, use the other write actor. This actor does specific formats. So in this case, let's keep it as CSV, and I'm gonna save. So we need to connect it. We need to go over here, and notice that in the control links we don't have access to this agent to write event to file. Instead we have it here because it accepts arbitrary data. It does not accept custom one. That's basically it. And I'm going to say from the op return to the right, create a connection, and the arrow works a bit different. Now what's next? Well, if you go here, you see that there is a propagate event option, propagate origin event. What does that mean? Well, first let's see how the event looks like. It contains TXID, which is the transaction ID, B address, and C address. These are the different protocols that Unwriter implemented. However, if we go to the watch directory, it also contains a bunch of other fields that are also useful. So if this option, if propagate origin event option is clicked, then when your agent creates an event, it's going to get merged with the previous event. And this way, the final data that we're going to write to file is going to be the data of the specific file together with the transaction ID. This is useful because it would later allow us to perform filtering and searching. As I said, this is a format that can easily be imported into a table, into Excel table, for example. And once you import it there, you can perform a search. You can look for specific file names. You can look for specific extensions, like I want to see only the PNG files. I don't want to see the JPEGs, something like this. So it's all useful. Next, what do we need to do anything else? Actually, no. This is it. This is it. So we are done. However, we need to actually run this. So we click on the download button, and what appears is a JSON file called scenario. Obviously you can rename it, and I actually advise you to rename it. Now let's create a new folder. Actually wait, watch directory. Which directory am I watching? No, I don't want to watch this one. Let's instead watch a new directory called on desktop. I'm gonna create demo, and in the demo I'm gonna create images. That's all. So save, and let's just check it. Yes. Now let's download it and save it. In the desktop I'm gonna create this demo folder, and this is your demonstration. create, save here. Then let's open the files, let's go to the desktop demo, and we have the scenario. What does it contain? Just a moment. So it contains the name, the description that we set, the author who created it, and this username is just something I use in my local server. You won't see me anywhere else. I just had to struggle to invent something that I haven't used so far. And then we have a list of the agents. This is just JSON. It explains what is this, what are the options, what is this, what are the options, and so on. Lastly, we have the links. And the links simply have source and target. From the agent with the ID 0, make a link to the agent with the ID 2. That's all. That's the whole scenario. It's just objects in a JSON file. And everything you do through that program is just object in a JSON file. Okay, I have to hurry, by the way. I heard my baby child wake up, so I might have to end this video soon. Okay, let's hurry. We have a terminal, and in this terminal I'm gonna write Pipecache. I already have Pipecache installed. Actually, no, I'll show you how to install it. You need to install not just Pipecache, but also the supporting packages. Without them, it will simply break and tell you to install them again. So, sudo pip 3 in my case because I'm on Ubuntu, install, and always do an upgrade when it's about Pipecache, because there are a lot of bugs, and I'm constantly fixing them, but I also constantly find new ones. It's a complicated thing, and it's just starting. It's in beta. Bugs are normal. So upgrade Pipecache agents, and lastly Pipecache wallets. So Pipecache agents and Pipecache wallets are just the default packages in which I keep my agents and wallets. However, this is important, these are just plugins. Anyone of you can create a new package which contains even more agents, even more wallets, other plugins, it's very portable. Later I'll make a video about how to write a new agent, how to write a new wallet, how to do all that. For now, let's just install. I'm writing my password, and obviously it's already satisfied, so it's keeping the update. Now, now let's just write Pipecache, and it says missing option S or scenario path. So let's give it an S, and we can select the scenario, and now it fails. Why did it fail? It failed because it's looking for this bit.sv key thing, but it doesn't find it. What is this? This is a secret. So you saw how we configured some settings inside the scenario itself. However, a scenario is meant to be shared. It's a program configuration, and not all data is that shareable. Some of the data is quite secret. So instead we have secret files. So let's go to the help and see what we have here. We have secrets path to a file which just points to that JSON file with the secrets, but we also have create secrets file, which is going to create a template for us. So we are going to say create secrets file, enter, and it just wrote out this. However, this is a string in our terminal. We need to save it to a file. So I'm gonna say save it to secrets.json. Now that's better. Next, if we look again in the help, secrets path is what we need to provide. Secrets path, and then I'm going to say secrets.json. Now we can also set the log level, the agent log level, and the wallet log level, and that is because agents and wallets have their own logging system. Right now none of the agents actually log anything, but that will change in the future, and these settings are useful in case you care about a specific part of the log and not about others. It's most likely that you will care more about what the agents are logging than what the pipe cache is logging, but for now it's actually the opposite, because pipe cache is not stable enough, and also because the agents are not logging anything yet. Anyway, let's leave it at the defaults, and the defaults are actually debug mode, because as I said, this is still in very early development. This is beta. This is breaking all the time, so expect problems. So let's just run it and enlarge it a bit, and it's gonna look for that folder. Every 5 minutes it's gonna check the image folder, and it's gonna check for new files. Now first, we don't have an image folder, so what was the name? The name was images. So let's create images. Create. Next, we need to, actually we don't need to put an image yet, because it's checking for new ones. However, this is 5 minutes. I'm not gonna wait 5 minutes for it. Let's stop it, and for the purposes of the demo, I'm gonna make it faster. I'm gonna make it every 1 minute. No, actually every 30 seconds. I'm impatient. Okay, so it's saved. I need to re-download it. I'm putting it here, save, replace, and then I'm simply gonna run the same command again. Oh, I forgot. It's not gonna work. Why is it not gonna work? Because the secret is empty. We have not filled that. So I'm gonna go right outside of the program, and I have this already filled somewhere, so not here. So I'm gonna go and open this one again outside on my other monitor, so that you don't see what I'm writing. This is a private key containing some Bitcoin, which I'm gonna open, copy, and paste, save. Okay, now what you put there is just a private key, normal private key, a Bitcoin address, and it knows how to handle the rest. Obviously you have to keep this address charged. You have to actually put money regularly as it gets spent. However, you can also automate that. You can make separate automation, separate branch, maybe even of the same program, which simply tracks how much money you have, and if you have below a certain amount, for example, it can send you an email and tell you, oh, by the way, you need to recharge because your money is going to be over in 2 days. Something like that. And 2 days, obviously it's approximation, but if you know how many images you're saving, you can approximate like that. Okay, let's go back to our terminal, and let's clean it up. Clear. Now we run the same thing once more, and it's gonna check every 30 seconds. However, we don't have an image there. How does this check work? Well, the first time it's actually not gonna create any events because it's only checking for changes. So the first time it's just gonna load the state. It's gonna load the file names and the descriptions of all the files that are in that folder, so that when it comes the second time, it looks for changes. And something broke. What did break? No such file or directory. Username desktop demo images. And the problem is this username. Apparently, I did not configure it properly. This will happen a lot to you as well. This is normal. As I said, there is no yes. Here, as I said, there is no helping. There is no IntelliSense. There is no autocomplete. There is no way to warn you for this yet. And for that reason, it's gonna fail a lot. Obviously, I cannot warn you about this from a browser anyway, no matter what you do, because it's a directory on your computer. So let's just write Alex save and re-download once again. Save the file as scenario.json place. And is everything alright? Yeah, I think it's alright. Once again, go to the terminal, open your terminal here. Then enter the command, and in 30 seconds it's gonna scan the folder, and in another 30 seconds it's gonna look for changes, and that is when we're gonna take this image. This is my profile picture, and we're gonna put it into the images folder. And that, actually, let's check, it ends with JPG, JPEG, so it should pass the filter. Okay, so it's just saying that the options were evaluated to this, and they are evaluated because some options can contain templates. Now let's simply paste this image and watch what happens. Now, where are we saving the logs actually? Okay, something happened, and another thing happened. Notice this is the B address, and it's uploading it to the MetaNet. It's already on the MetaNet. But let's go and see. Actually, let's first go to Bottle, to the browser for MetaNet, and see our image. We have this avatar.jpg. We can go to it, and here it is. Now it keeps on checking for changes, but there are no changes, so we can ignore it for now. We can leave it running, and let's see where the log is written. I forgot already. Write log to file, desktop pipecache logs. So let's go to pipecache logs and test it. This one, and we have this CSV file. Let's open it, and here is how it looks. This is a CSV pattern. Obviously it's just a text file, so we can just open it with text program, and it looks quite more complicated. I'm including all the built-ins. Why am I including all the built-ins? Okay, I don't like this. I'm gonna fix this. This should be much fewer data, much less data. Yes, I'm including all the built-ins. Okay, that is not good. But we can also open it with program for looking at tables, and that's why this is so long. I'll fix this. As I said, expect plenty of bugs. and this is the transaction ID of the specific item. We can take this, we can put it into a table, an Excel table, or LibreOffice table in my case because I'm on Ubuntu, and we can query for stuff. Then let's go and see what else we have. Not here. So I told you already, wait, demo, this one, demo folder. I told you already that this is only working for specific patterns. So if we update the name of the file and we rename this to BMP, bitmap. Now obviously this is not a BMP file, so we're technically breaking the file, but that doesn't matter because it's not gonna get uploaded anyway, because it's not gonna pass the filter. So rename it and go straight to the thing, to the terminal. Let's see what happens. We're waiting for the next check here, and event condition on watch directory returned false, meaning the new file did not have the right extension, and for that reason it did not get uploaded. Okay, so let's return it to JPEG. Now it is gonna create an event once again. Why? Because this is now a new file. Why is it new? Because for a moment it checked and it saw that this file didn't exist anymore, so it deleted it from the memory. Then as I put it back there, it's gonna notice it and it's gonna think that it's a brand new file, so it's gonna upload it on the blockchain once again. Let's click here, let's wait for it to get uploaded. Here, I'll return B, and then it's uploading, and once again all the built-ins will be included into that CSV file. I'm sorry for that, I'm gonna fix it, I promise. Actually, I'm gonna write on paper right now. Built-ins in CSV. This is a problem. Okay, and this bot will continue to run for indefinite time and watch this folder. Whatever happens to this folder, it will react. That's all. That was everything you need to know about writing Pipecache bots. Honestly, it can go a lot more complicated than that, but if we're talking about basics, these are all the basics. And I'm gonna close the event now, close the Pipecache now. I'm gonna close the terminal, close everything, go back here, and let's see what agents we have for now. Now, agents are not only reacting to the Bitcoin blockchain, they are acting on all types of stuff. For example, we have Twitter agents, a lot of Twitter agents. We have scraping for HTML text. We have RSS checker. It simply checks the feed from a website. So you can use this to check for certain types of news. Then you can send this news somewhere else. You can do stuff. Now, I have yet to include a lot more agents. This list is eventually going to become unmanageable. It's going to become too long to search for stuff. So eventually I'll have to invest time and make it so that when you click here, a big window appears where you see proper information about everything and some easy search option so that you can find something by a keyword. For now, I'm sorry, it's the simplest possible way. It's just drop down. Fixes will come later. Okay, that was everything. That was everything of the beginning of the basics. Thank you for listening, and bye bye. go out there and create stuff. I want to fix the bugs on this thing as soon as possible. So go out there, create stuff, make bots, and if you find bugs, log them into the Pipecache GitHub. One more thing. What was I thinking? Yes. So I said that I want to fix the bugs, but at the same time, I'm going on a vacation. I'm going on a very big vacation to the Philippines. For a full month, I'm not gonna touch any code, or at least I'm hoping that I'm not gonna touch any code. Instead, I'm gonna walk on beaches and eat shrimp. Okay, that's all. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.